Persian mystics thought of the phoenix as the symbol of the human soul, reborn from its own dead body. The crisis of the mythical phoenix was its burning, and out of its ashes came the rebirth. One has the choice of viewing crisis as a positive aspect of change. The crisis for Azim Khamisa was the shooting of his beloved son, Tariq.
This tale ends where most tales begin.
It was the middle of that January night when they be crossing. Caught up in the mix show, but they be crossing. Like TNT, they would explode. Tony Bone and Tariq, they were headed for rip mode. Tony Bone told the 9mm while Tariq was on the streets of North Park toting pizza. Here comes some pizza, y'all. Let's rob some pizza, y'all. You got my 9 bones, you ready? Is you ready? Antoine, he was the boss of the black mob deep as they stood against the wall of the driveway. With these other 3 youngins looking up at this youngin' as if he got some power or some mad something. Tariq was scared of what was running through this man's mind. Tony scared with his hand on this man's 9. Antoine gave the call, the hammer dropped.
Most of us don't think that our children die before we do. So never expect to bury your children. Tariq grew up in an environment with family and religion and values. He was a very kind person and very generous person. Tariq also was blessed with a very great sense of humor. He laughed very easily. I remember that he could soften even the most gravest moments with a crack or a joke. He was very happy in his relationship with Jennifer. And they had plans to get married. Losing an only son is devastating.
Tony grew up as a child who was born to a 15-year-old, my daughter. So Tony relied a great deal on people in the family other than his mom. My mom assisted with his raising. I, of course, assisted with his raising. He was very troubled by the fact that he didn't have a relationship with his dad. But invariably, the call of being with his friends got stronger and stronger.
My son, Tariq Khamisa, on the night that he was killed, was delivering pizzas.
Late that night, 11 o'clock news, there was a news report.
Tariq Khamisa was shot and killed while delivering a pizza.
And a very bad feeling came over me. Because it was the first time that since Tony had been with me that he wasn't in bed sleeping.
He was gang related. They have this procedure, what they call jerking the pizza man. Tariq was asked to give up the pizza and he said no. And the 18-year-old gave the order to a 14-year-old. Gang name was Bones. He said, bust him, Bones. And a bullet was fired. It was one bullet, but it was fatal.
Tony committed a cowardly act. He shot and killed a defenseless person. And no way that you can make that right.
I'm admitting, sir, that on that date you did in fact shoot and kill Mr. Khamisa during the attempted commission of a robbery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tony did the right thing and took responsibility and pled guilty to first-degree murder. And at his sentencing, he gave a very emotional, remorseful speech.
On January 21st, 1995, I shot and killed Tariq Khamisa, a person I didn't even know and who didn't do anything wrong to me. I still don't know why I shot Tariq. I didn't really want to hurt him or anyone else. I'm sorry for the pain that I caused with Tariq's father, Mr. Khamisa. I pray to God every day that Mr. Khamisa will forgive me for what I've done.
Azim's astonishing reaction? Forgiveness.
It was like a nuclear bomb going off in my heart.
Azim Khamisa, the father of the victim, buried his only son Tariq according to their Muslim custom. He climbed down into the muddy grave. It had been raining. And then they lowered his son's body, wrapped in a white cloth, down into his open arms. And then he tried to say goodbye to his boy.
Well, the overwhelming feeling I had was to stay with him.
I mean, let him put the dirt in on top of both of you.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave him there alone. I stayed there a long time. When something bad happens, you can stop that bad from happening to other people.
You know the phrase, hallelujah time? It was one of those hallelujah moments when I looked into Azim's eyes and I saw in his eyes a sense of compassion. So as men, as fathers and grandfathers, it really formed a bond that's so strong it exists to this very day and will always be there. It was a defining moment in my life. Only through that forgiveness.
The killer's grandfather, in turn, helped Azim start the Tariq Khamisa Foundation, speaking together to more than 1 million children about the real pain of violence.
And sometimes it scars the soul forever.
Then, Azim visited Tony Hicks, the killer, who had never had a father, and forgave him, too.
His forgiveness wasn't something I expected.
I think if I think about Tony now, I'm not angry. He is a safe passage through my heart. He is a safe passage through my mind. My blood pressure doesn't go up.
Now Azim is lobbying to have Tony released from prison early, like he was his own son. And when he gets out of prison, what do you hope for him?
We'll have a job for him at the foundation.
So you're going to hire him?
Absolutely.
This is the killer of your son?
Yes. And Azim sat next to him and said, I forgive you for what you did. I not only forgive you, but I expect that when you get out of this prison, you come and work with us at TKF.
When he comes and joins the foundation, right, and he's out there talking to kids, and he tells them that when I was 11, I joined the gang. When I was 14, I murdered Mr. Khamisa's son. I spent the last umpteen years in prison. I'm here to tell you it's not worth it. Now think about how many he will save as a result of that.
Remember the choices that you make. And remember, they live with you for the rest of your life. And remember that forgiveness can assure us peace. This is a tree we plant in the memory of my son Tariq and all the other kids that have been lost. And we also invite the children to come and plant flowering plants in memory of somebody they have lost. And we call this the Garden of Life.
The real obligation is to your children, grandchildren, and other young ones in our community who have not been stricken. Please believe me when I tell you, our children are not safe. Thank you and God bless.